I'm just letting you know that I'm having a problem today starting this video. I don't know why. I'm usually pretty talkative. Like I never shut up. For some reason today, I don't know what to start with. I don't know what sentence to say. I'm not the normal YouTube person that's like, hey, everybody, welcome to my channel. I don't do all that. And like today was really hard to start. I don't know why. It took me at least 30 minutes just to get into this groove, which is weird. But I guess I could talk about the snow, which no one wants to hear about in Philadelphia or New York or anywhere, I guess, right now on the East Coast. But I love the snow and I love the winter because I love the different seasons. But this is a little ridiculous just because it's like we just can't catch a break. So I know everybody's feeling the same way. I also wanted to say from the last video, I made a little bit of a mistake, just a little bit of a mistake. I don't think anybody caught on to it though, but I mean, I did. So I like to go back and fix it if I can. There was one word on that last video I did about love, and I said it was preserves, which is not bad. It's not bad, but I read it wrong, and it's really perseveres. So I guess it's similar, but I just wanted to state that for the people that wanted to maybe correct me, it's perseveres. So it's pretty much the same. It still perseveres. It still tries to keep going and do the right thing in a loving relationship if you understand what love is. If you want to watch that video, if you haven't seen it, go ahead and watch it because it is a good video and it does teach us how to be all the right things in a relationship, whatever relationship you're in, a friendship, a customer relationship, a relationship in a family, a romantic relationship. So it's like, it's a good video to watch to kind of come to an understanding where you need to change yourself sometimes and see yourself and say, what am I doing wrong in a relationship? But today, I guess in this, it all goes hand in hand. Like even, what I'm about to talk about today is empathy and sympathy. And that also comes from knowing how to love someone, like how to be a good friend, how to understand what people are going through. And that's what I went through. I mean, that's what everybody goes through in all their life. Like you run into people that are really great, really close friends and know exactly what you're going through and know how to be there. And then there's people that just don't have any sympathy, no empathy. It's almost like they never went through anything. And I feel that's strange because I feel that we all go through things. And whether you choose to lock up in your emotions or like not show your emotions, which is really strange as well because you should be able to show your emotions and show empathy and sympathy towards someone else. It's not just about you. This is what this world's about. It's not about becoming some kind of superstar, making a lot of money. This world is really about watching us as humans develop and see how the way we maintain relationships with each other, how we treat each other. And as, like I've said in my other videos, as you can see, the world is going in a total opposite direction. There is one side and there's another side, and they're both fighting because they don't really understand what's really going on. Like who's really putting all these problems out there for us to fight about, and we're losing our humanity. And I've noticed too, like people are they're not sympathetic. They don't have empathy. And when you say something to someone, they're more cold-hearted than they are understanding, which I feel if you're listening to this video, I would start practicing being empathetic, showing empathy and showing sympathy. And when someone is going through something, actually be there. And I noticed that everybody goes off this weird, strange, and I'm telling you, it's really abnormal what we do online on Facebook. We think that's the end. Or I'm trying to look for the right word. That's where we go, and that's where you know that people care, and it's really not. Like I'm trying to put it like, say someone makes a post about someone that passes away, and then everybody under that comments, "Sorry for your loss, sorry for this, sorry for that." but I feel people are just going through the motions. Like, okay, I did my part. I did my part. I usually don't go and say anything. I don't really say much. Not that I don't care. It's just that it's very surface level, and to me, it doesn't mean anything unless I actually contact that person directly if I know them, and I tell them, yo, whatever I can do for you. I know it's not the easiest time right now, but I understand because I went through loss. They're going through loss. If I can even just be sympathetic or empathetic, really empathetic, because I just realized that empathy is more of the definition of truly understanding what someone is going through when they lose somebody and something happens, like a relationship falls apart, whatever it is. But I just noticed like Facebook is it's fake. It's really, really fake. And I'm sorry if the people listening to this do the things like, sorry for your loss. I'm not saying that you are not sympathetic or empathetic or whatever but I'm just saying that it's like we just, as humans, like we're just getting away. We're more robotic than anything. We're like going on a system that Facebook's created for us, and then they call that staying in touch or being connected. It's not. We're actually more not connected. We're less connected nowadays than anything. And I've noticed that with all my experiences, like being in business, and the past couple of years have been really, really bad, even from closer friends. Not like I said, I have really good friends. I have a couple really good friends that are always there for me, and they know who they are, and we talk on a regular basis. But I've experienced like people that say they are close to you. And I do, unfortunately, religious people are, they act like they care, but a lot of them don't. And I'm sorry to say this, and I know a lot of people will get mad at me, but they're just also going through the motions because they're acting good. They're not genuinely good. And that's where I say, I always bring it back to God, because God made us for a natural, genuine relationship, not this fake Facebook type relationship where you scroll through a million things, you like it, heart it, whatever you want to do. Then you say, you see someone's going through something, you're like, keep going. It's all this fake motivation. And you fill yourself up thinking you did your good deed for the day. I want to say that you're not doing it right. And people are going to be like, why you got to talk about me like that? I'm not. I'm just trying to bring you to the understanding. Like, we got to be more genuine. We got to care. And like I said, in the past couple years, I've experienced more from human beings that they're not really heartfelt. They don't really care. They don't really care what you're going through. And this is the way we're supposed to be living life. This is not the way we're supposed to be living life. Humans are supposed to care for each other, and mean it though. Like, really mean it. When you know your friend's going through something, really like something bad, why would you almost purposely not reach out to them or not call them and say, yo, man, why don't you come over? I know you're really going through a bad time or whatever. Like, these are the kind of things that I'm saying to people that we have to like step up, especially in these last days. Like, these days are so bad right now. And I said it to myself, like, I kind of want to go out with a bang. Like, I want to go out doing good, right-minded things for everyone, because this world is it's so bad right now. I don't know if you see, like, you think things are going to turn around. They're not really. And I hate to be negative like that. And I'm not, people are like, well, you should be more positive. You can be positive all you want. I was positive all my life, and we're still here. It's because that more people choose to be evil. And evil is anything that is opposite of what God meant good for us. So if you understand what I'm saying, like not having empathy and sympathy for someone in a really serious situation is, I hate to say it, evil. If you can't come out and be a good person, I don't want to hear that people are introverted. I get it. They want to stay to themselves. So do I sometimes. But when you practice not being sympathetic for someone, their problems, any situation, and not be understanding, then you are practicing something opposite of what God wants. If you follow me, I hope you follow me. So that's why I wanted to tell this story. I want to tell this story that I went through something a couple of years back, and I'm trying to think how to situate it. So I do want to say this to people, though. Like, some of these stories that I tell, it's not about me. It's not like I'm trying to get you to feel bad for me. That's not the case. I'm trying to teach you something in the middle of the story or in the story that says you should change. You should change, because I've experienced people that hurt me when they didn't even know they hurt me. They hurt me, and it's like, I wish those people would understand what I'm trying to say to them, that they have to change. And I don't want to hear people are like, well, that's the way I am and that's the way I do things. No, because I could say that too. But I actually, I doubled down and looked at myself and said, there's things about me that I have to change. So I started listening to audiobooks and doing all these things to make the right changes. This is why I make the videos the way I do, like in sections, like, you're not listening or you're listening with anger. The next video is going to be about like communication. Even this video is kind of having a communication type theme to it too. But it's just like science. Science, you learn by the process of elimination. So you eliminate the things that you can learn easy, and then you take on the bigger topics. So it's like when I teach, like when I'm showing people like what to do with life to make it better for themselves and to make them a better person, is don't get anxious and go, oh my gosh, I got to change overnight. You don't. It's what is it? What's that saying? It's a marathon, not a sprint. So you can change, but just give yourself some credit, but change things that you can practice little by little. A simple handshake, look people in the eye when you're talking, learn how to say people's names in a conversation, talk to people, be nice. Don't gossip when you're as soon as you see somebody, don't start talking about someone else. That's what I mean. Like, try to hold it in. Like, these are the evil things that we tend to do. And then we get caught up in evil, and then we're practicing evil and we're getting better at it, and then we get less sympathetic, we get more hard-hearted, and we don't understand another person's situation, and then we get mad at them when they lash out. So that's like perfect example for me. Like, a lot of times I get angry, and then I have a problem with that where I don't communicate like, hey, listen, instead of me yelling at you, which that's hard, especially a couple of years back when I was going through what I was going through, is I tend to get angry first, and then all this stuff comes out of my mouth that doesn't make any sense, and then people are just looking at me like, this person's a moron. And they're right in a way. But if they really understood empathy, they would go, something's not right. Something's not right with this person that they're screaming and they're yelling, because they're really actually hurt. So they're hurt inside. They don't know how to form the words to tell them or the other person that you're hurting me. So this is what I'm trying to convey to you, the listener, is change your life in the sense that, one, you listen first. Listen for clues, like, why is this person acting like this? Ask them, why do you feel this way? And you don't have to get all crazy doctorish on them. I'm just saying, but ask them in a nice way, like, is everything okay? Like, do you want to talk about something? Is there something on your mind that is bothering you? And most likely, they will let you know, and they'll most likely be crying and bawling their eyes out. But anyway, but yeah, like I said, these stories are not for you to think, oh my gosh, Fred, I can't believe that you went through this. It's not that. I want to show you how everyone acts in this story that I have, and how these stories can actually change your life to being a better person. Even though I know the world is on fire right now, the world is definitely on fire, but you right now can still change your life because someone is watching. God is watching. I know that people don't want to hear it, but God is watching. And just because God doesn't intervene all the time It doesn't mean God is not overseeing humanity, not religions, not little groups here and there, all of humanity. I would much rather, as best to my ability, to choose good over evil. And it's like, I'm pretty sure there is a verse in the Bible for that too. It's like people choose, like they run towards evil. Like God doesn't like that. Like I'm not saying that I'm goody two shoes. I'm the best. People that know me sometimes. I curse. I say questionable things. I'm working on it, but deep down inside, I much rather do good. This is one of the reasons why I'm doing the videos, because I do want to help people come back to who they really were in the very beginning, like innocent, like a child. This is why I get so mad when people do evil things to children, even just put evil things in their minds to make them do wrong things. It's like, what is wrong with the world that they're doing that? But like I said, we're not going to save the world, but you can bring yourself back to a better position as a human being on this planet. So this is this is the definition of empathy: is feeling with someone. Oh, listen, wait. I'm sorry, I'm the worst with reading sometimes. That's why I listen to audiobooks, because I read like a second grader sometimes. Where's it at? I just had it. Okay. So empathy is the ability to deeply understand and share the feelings of another by imagining yourself in their situation, fostering close personal connection. So that's empathy. So I get that. So maybe I'm definitely more empathetic then, because I want, is that the right word? Am I saying the right word? Let me see, because I'm really, sometimes I'll say some things. You think I would have got ready for this more. Yeah, empathetic. Empathetic is a word. Sorry. And sympathy is a feeling of pity or concern for someone else's misfortune from your own perspective. But so it's like more of like they're sympathetic, meaning they still care. But an empathetic person is more closer to the situation in your mind or heart, and they're more careful with their words instead of scolding you. And that's where I feel I get the word scolded, meaning like people, instead of helping you, they'll say what you need. This is what you need to do. You need to stop doing this. You need to stop doing that. It's like, just understand that I'm in pain and something's not right with me, because I'm usually not that way. So why don't you call me up instead of hitting me up on Facebook when I make crazy posts? But which I do sometimes. I've been better at it though. I've been better at putting out posts where I was like angry, or I had a bad day and things were going wrong, and I just made this post out of nowhere. I usually take it down, but sometimes people would hit me up and like make me feel like I'm not allowed to have feelings. And it's like, to me, that's not empathetic. It's like, yo, what is wrong? Are you okay? Like, is everything all right? Not everybody can be strong. That's another thing I want to convey to somebody. Not to say that I'm not strong, but we all hit our point where we kind of run out of steam. So understand that about human beings. Everybody runs out of steam. Not everybody is on the up and up. Not everybody is always in a great mood. This is why I kind of don't like the whole, your energy is killing me statement. Like, not everybody has to have positive energy all the time, and it's not ruining you. If anything, you should step out of your zone and go, are you okay? Because something's not right about you today, because usually you're normal. That's all you have to do. You don't have to tell people your energy is making me down today. Like, you don't say that to people, because you don't know what they're going through. Always think before what you say. Like, always think about what words you're going to use. What statement are you going to make? Is it going to ruin this day for this person? Is it going to make them change their mind? Is it going to make them think better? Always think about what you say before you say it. Always. So now that I got that out of the way, so when I was just getting out of high school in '93, everybody kind of knows who's been following the videos. In '93, I moved to South Philly. I lived on 13th and Tasker. I lived right across the street from Franco and Luigi's Pizza. That was a good place. And at first, because I wanted to start my business like right away, I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue what I was doing. I was trying to airbrush shirts. I was definitely an airbrush artist, so I was trying to airbrush shirts. I was doing screen printing. I was doing anything I could think of, that dealt with art. But in the very beginning, there was a place down on Passyunk Avenue, and the people in South Philly that are watching this know, if they're my age, they know who this is. And it was called the Airbrush Place. And the person that ran that place, her name was Angel. She was the top dog in South Philly for art and paint, and like everybody went there. So me coming in, I'm like 19. I think she was 10 years older than me, I think. So I'm pretty sure. All right. No, she was a little younger. So I don't know. I'm horrible with ages. I'm sorry. But she was the top dog in South Philly for painting, artwork, anything you wanted. Like, she did murals everywhere. She did murals up South Street. She was doing t-shirt art. She was doing canvas paintings. Like, she was the one that everybody went to. And even the name of the shop was like great. Like, everything she did was great in my eyes anyway. It's like, the Airbrush Place. Like, she called her shop the Airbrush Place. It's like when people don't know the name of a store, they literally just said, yeah, it's the Airbrush Place. That's where I got that done at. And that was the name of the business. Everything she did for me was, and she didn't know me. She didn't know who I was. I was working at this one place delivering food when I was like 19, 20, I guess. When I first got out of high school, moved to South Philly. I couldn't start a business right away. There was no money. But I started working at this restaurant, Amels, I think it was called, Meals on Broad Street. And I was just delivering food in the morning. I was delivering breakfast. But, in my travels, I always passed by Angel's shop. And her windows were like decorated with artwork and just paintings, and it was just insane. It was insane. And she was in the magazines too, so I saw her. So I was following her. And I would go by the store when it wasn't open. I would just be like peeking in and trying to figure out how she was doing things and painting things. And I looked up to her so much. Like, I wanted to be like Angel, because Angel was the person in South Philly that everybody knew for that. And even more than that, like, not just South Philly, like, she was known all over. And I would like try to mimic her, and I would say to myself, like, I'm going to be like her one day in Philly. I'm going to be that person. So that was my thing I set out to do. I wanted to be like her. So I remember one time, because I was starting to get better. I was starting to paint a lot better, and I was doing portraits. And I remember doing a picture of Marilyn Monroe, and I had a lot of guts. I tried to I didn't want to because I was nervous, but I went into that store and I brought my painting in, and they looked at me like, who is this clown, right? And so, because she did have like other people working there, and they were just so good. They were like really good, and I wasn't even on the level yet. So I walked in with my painting, and I said, "Can I get a job?" And she was like, "Well, you're not there yet." She's like, "You're good, but you're not there yet." And I was like, all right. So I left there, not really mad, just like thinking, what can I do to get better? Like, so I just kept practicing. So, we didn't really know each other until later on in life, but I was kind of like, not competition to her because she was already up there, but I kind of like wanted to prove to myself and maybe her in a way that like I'm coming up. And so I started working on South Street for a little bit, and I was airbrushing down there. Did my thing, down the shore. I did some things, some signs, and I started coming up, and then I started doing motorcycles, and then cars, and that's when my name really started coming up in Philly as Killer Creations, and I remember, like, we never like had this kind of bad blood or anything. We never had a bad relationship, me and Angel. But other people would talk trash, like, "Oh, Angel's better, Freddie's better." So now it's like, now I'm creating this this conflict that doesn't really exist between us, and it was funny. But then we actually met, and we became really good friends, me and Angel, and we actually worked on a couple projects together. And over the years, like, she would bust my chops about certain things. And I would always say to her, like, how she treated me when I first came in for a job, and she told me to get out, that my artwork was trash. And she would laugh. She was like, "I never said that." And she did never said that. But I would always mess around and say something funny. But we got really close friendship. And I would stop in the store from time to time. And then, like, I don't know, we did some projects together, and then we kind of fell apart for a while. And I think that's because we were both burnt out from the business. And she was really burnt out because just, she was ahead of me in like all the stuff that she was doing. And it was starting to catch up to me too. So I moved away from South Philly, and then we kind of, like, our relationship kind of dwindled a little bit. Friendship or whatever, it fell to the wayside, whatever you want to say. But then a couple years later, like a couple years back, right around, I was taking care of my dad. It was like 2019, 2020, and like COVID happened and all this other crap happened. And then I was taking care of my dad at the time. He moved in with me because he was going through a lot of health situations, and so he started living with me, and it was cool. It was fine. It wasn't a big deal. But with the whole COVID and my dad, like, the stress was, like, really bad. So I guess, like, 2022 we started, or 2021, 22, I guess we started talking again. Like, I stopped by the shop to see how she was, and she was really stressed out. Life was really getting to her, and it was like the same for me. So we started, like, bonding again and talking about our problems and helping each other through them. And she actually helped me with a couple projects then, because I was behind on projects because of all the stuff I was going through at the time. So hold on. So one time we were hanging out because we were starting to, like, hang out. I was hanging out at the shop a lot. And, we would listen to music. Her friends was sometimes there. And I don't know what happened, but, like, this one time we were hanging out. I mean, I know what happened, but she didn't ever told me she was going through some health problems, and I had no clue, of course. But there was no signs. There was just, she was acting normal and fine. And one time we were hanging out, and she went into cardiac arrest. And I remember just, like, panicking. I didn't know what to do. I had no clue other than, to call 911. And I called 911. And she's on the floor. She's, like, breathing, like, short breaths. And I didn't know it was cardiac arrest at that moment because I was so nervous and I was so scared. But I knew something was really wrong. So I call 911. The operator tells me as soon, start to do CPR. I had no clue. I had no clue what to do. I mean, I never did CPR. So they told me to start doing CPR, and I started doing CPR on her, and nothing was happening. All I could think about was just like, oh my God, she's dying. And I remember that's how that's how our mom passed in the middle of the night. So I'm just like trying my best to bring her back. And, I told the operator, I said, please stay on with me until the police get here or the rescue, whoever is coming. I said, please stay on with me because I'm just like, I don't want to stop pumping, pushing on her chest to keep her alive. So it's like all these things are going through my head now at this point. All I could say was like, I just kept saying, Angel, please come back. Please come back. Please come back. Every time I would push on the chest, I was like, come back. Please come back. And she was starting to breathe better. But the paramedics finally got there and, they were doing their thing. And I'm just standing there going like, I just lost control. Like I didn't even know what to say. Like even right now, like I'm speechless because I never really talk about it. And it's like there's no words for it. And I'm not saying this, like I said, to put it on me like, oh, look at me. It's just like in that situation, it's so overwhelming. You don't know what to do. And, she went to the hospital and all I can remember is praying, what we would call praying. And I'm like praying to God. I'm like, please, God, save her. Please, God, save her. Please, God, bring her out of this. And she had a major blood clot in her heart, and that's what caused it. And the crazy thing was she was supposed to be going, which I didn't know. She had a doctor's appointment the following week to go check out for her heart. And she never made it, And so she's in the hospital, and I guess when you go into cardiac arrest, they have to I guess cool you down so your brain doesn't swell, and I guess kind of induce a coma or whatever. And they couldn't bring her out yet because the blood clot was not, I guess, it wasn't going away, or they weren't able to fix it so she could come out. So she was in the hospital for a really long time. And I remember being with her family and her mom a lot at those months, like helping driving her mom. Like we would all take turns. I drove her mom to the hospital so like she could see her. And it was just a horrifying moment for everybody. And it's like you can't, I don't know. I don't even know what to say really. Like I know I'm sorry, I'm kind of like off, but I just know that I prayed to God and nothing happened. And I wasn't mad at God for that, but it did change my outlook on life a lot with certain things. And it's like God doesn't always answer your prayers because sometimes it's not about you. It's about something else in the story that someone else has to learn. And it wasn't an angel, I'm saying maybe it was a family member of angels. Like someone had to learn something from that. It wasn't just about me, but in the moment, of course, I was so broken that, I was hoping that I would have did the right thing in that moment and I would have brought her back. You know what I mean? So her family could see her. And she never came out. She never came out of it. And I don't know if there's a nicer term. I don't want to say just brain dead because she wasn't brain dead. Like I know that part of her brain was functioning, but the part of the brain that made Angel's character was not there anymore. So it was like she just stared. And it was horrible because that lasted for almost 2 years. So for 2 years, it stayed with me like, did I do the right thing? Should I have let her die? Like, should I have even tried to, do CPR? And that's a really horrible feeling for 2 years, knowing, like, did I do the right thing? Did I do the right thing? And, her family said, yes, of course you did the right thing. But to me, I don't think I did. I don't know what I did. I don't know. It's hard to say that I did the right thing, but that's not part of the story. The part of the story is it was somewhere along the line, someone else gained from this. And it's like, it was a horrible 2 years of not knowing. And I feel like it was my fault, like, that their family also had to deal with that. I don't know. Like, I don't know. But I do think that what I wanted people, when I was going through that, some of the closer people to me, this is why I say have empathy for people, not just sympathy, not just saying, I hope you feel better or whatever. Like, I had some people say some nasty things to me. Not nasty, but like just ignorant things to me. And I haven't talked to them for a while. Like, I really haven't talked to them for a while. Almost like it was no big deal. And it was a big deal. It's like Angel passed. Her mom passed a couple months before she did. And that's how I knew Angel still knew what was going on, because even though she couldn't talk to us or whatever, I just feel that once her mom passed, it was kind of like time to let go. And I hope, man, I don't even know what to say. It's like, I had like a good thing laid out for this, but I just feel it's like people are not empathetic in what people are really going through nowadays. We've lost our empathy. And I remember like going through this, and people just were not really there. And not just for me, but just even for Angel. Not her family. Her family was there. We were there. Her family was there. Her friends were there. But there's just some people that weren't there, like mindful. Like, yo, I should have more empathy, or like I should feel more for this. What am I doing? Like, what are you doing? I remember just certain people just didn't even, like, I would tell them, and then they would never even check, how's Angel doing? Some people did, but I just feel like we really, as humans, should have a better way of being towards people, and really listening and really understanding what people are going through, instead of just going through the motions and throwing up emojis. There's a time and a place for emojis, and I would say when it's a real situation where it's like death or something that's serious, there's no emojis that should be used. We don't need emojis. We need real, caring people. But I just want to say that Angel was a great person, and we did a lot of cool projects together, and she was one of the greatest artists I knew, and she was another mentor in a way. Like, I know I talked about mentors. I didn't never mention her, but Angel she was a mentor to me, and she never even knew it. The friendly competition that we had actually pushed me into a better position as an artist, and she was a great person. Like, she cared, and her art was great. And even in her later years of doing art, she did a lot of churches. She did a lot of like she repaired church paintings and stuff like that. It was Very cool stuff that she was doing. And I just want to say, like, she was a great person and a great friend to me, and I will miss her. And I just want people to start being more empathetic. So if this helps you in any way come to that conclusion, like, just start practicing being empathetic. It's not hard. Like, it just takes practice, of course, but your heart will eventually open, but you have to make the decision to do that. Start really caring about people, because it does matter. It does matter. And it really would help someone else, because if someone like me, if I needed someone like my friend, especially during that time, my friend Johnny Lightning, this is where I say, like, God doesn't answer your prayers directly. But I remember during that time, like, it was months, man. It was months. I could not function. When she was in the hospital, it was months to a year I could not function. And I'm not saying this because I hate putting it out there, but I was drinking. Like, I was drinking in the morning. Like, I couldn't function at all. I couldn't think. All I could think about was her in the hospital, and she's going to come out of this. And God does answer with good, genuine human beings. That's how I know God answers, because I said this in an interview about a year ago, that my friend Johnny, who is a paint supplier, he was a paint supplier at that time, an automotive paint supplier, he, because we're far away in distance. Just keep this in mind. This is why I'm saying God answers prayers in a way. My friend Johnny's not a religious person. Like, I know he believes in stuff, but what I mean is, like, he is a genuine human being. There's a big difference between being fake good and real good. That's why when God says, I know your heart, he knows your heart. He knows if you're faking good, to get stuff. But anyway, Johnny is further distance. Like, he's a paint supplier, but he really normally doesn't come to my shop because I use a paint supplier down the street. So there's really no reason for him to come up here in my neighborhood, right? He deals with other people further away. But for some reason, I remember that day, and I was just like trying to work and trying to function, and I was drinking in the morning. It was like 8 o'clock, and I remember, like, Johnny never comes to my shop, and Johnny walked in that day when I needed someone the most. Not a religious person, not a person that acts like they go to church. I mean, I got a real person showed up. Like, he showed up. Like, that's God. That's when God shows up. Something, I don't know what happened, but he showed up, and when he walked in, it was like, that's who I needed at that moment. And, he gave me a hug, and I started crying, and it was like, I needed that. That's what I needed. I didn't need someone telling me I needed to do this or do that or read a Bible verse. I needed someone to be there, and that's when God shows up. So, I don't know. It's just like, I just wish people would be more caring and sympathetic. That's like the number one thing I think people have lost. I know for sure people have lost. Even so-called religious people, they have lost it. They don't have sympathy or empathy. They don't really have a caring in them that represents God. And I think they should change that. A lot of people should change that.